Okay, last time we're starting briefly for the inequality 1.8. Okay, inequality. Okay, what is the meaning of inequality in general? I said last time, inequality looks like equation, but instead of equal symbols, we're going to replace it by greater than, less than, greater than or equal, less than or equal. So inequality looks like equations instead of these symbols, we replace it by one of greater than, less than, less than, greater than, less than or equal, greater than or equal. Okay. Example for inequality. I gave this example last time. 4x plus 7 less than or equal 19. So here we have inequality 4x plus 7 less than or equal. Instead of equal, we're using these symbols, less than or equal. So this is mean inequality. And also last time, I gave the rules of inequality. The rules of from last time is like this. So I said A less than B. So A less than B. This is mean if I want to add the same quantity to the first side and the second side, I get another equivalent inequality such that A plus C less than or equal B plus C. Same things for the second one. A less than or equal B, if I want to subtract any same quantity for both sides, I get A minus C less than or equal B minus C. If I have positive number and I have inequality, I want to multiply this positive number to the inequality, I get CA less than or equal CB. If this number is negative and I want to multiply this negative number to the inequality, I have to change the symbols from less than or equal to greater than or equal. Number 5, if I have A and B, both of them positive, and I have inequality, I want to flip this inequality. I have also changed the symbols from less than or equal to greater than or equal. If I have two inequality, I can add both of this inequality. I get A plus C, such that the first term plus the first one, a plus c less than or equal b plus d. So I add this one to this one and this one to this one. Here, number 7, if I have a less than or equal b and b less than or equal c, this is mean I can set a less than or equal c, transitive. Okay, let me go back to the class. Okay, so the rules, we can go back to the previous class. Any question for the 7 rules? Okay. Don't forget to fill the attendance sheet. It's in the link down in the chat. Now, how we can solve linear? I will start by solving linear inequality, then I go to the nonlinear. Like previous, like the equation, I start solving a linear equation, then I go to the quadratic equation, then I went to the other types of equations. Here in inequality, I will start solving linear inequality, then I go to the nonlinear inequality. So here, solving linear equality and non-linear So starting for linear inequality. Okay. So I will start the linear inequality by giving example, and during this example I explain how we can solve linear inequality. So for example, solve this inequality 3x less than 9x plus 4. Let me go to the next slide. So the example is 3x less than 9x plus 4. So the best idea for solving equality like that, first of all, it's a linear. Why? Because the highest exponent for the variable is 1. Makes sense? The highest exponent for the variable inside this inequality is 1. Or because the exponent is 1, okay? And no fraction. So the first idea to solving linear inequality, I prefer to moving all the variable like equation exactly, moving all the variable to one side and the other side all the numbers. Okay. So now, how can I move this variable to this side? What I have to do, like equation.
Subtract it on both sides.
Subtract 9x. Exactly. So what I get now, 3x minus 9x less than, this guy with this one, it will be cancelled. 9x minus 9x is cancelled. What I have?
4.
Less than 4. Now I solve this one. 3x minus 9x is?
Minus 6.
minus 6x less than 4. Now, like equation, what I have to do here?
Divide the -6 on both sides.
Okay, divide it by -6, or I multiply by the reciprocal for -6.
And also
And
switch the sign,
the
the
sign,
inequality.
yes, must be changed. Why? Because by using the rules. Go back to the rule number 4. Rule number 4, like I gave it last time, because I divided by negative, I have to change the sign here. The sign for inequality. So they give me x instead of less than, become greater than, and here minus 4/6. I can simplify this one. So what is the answer?
2/3, negative 2/3.
Negative 2/3, yes. So this is how we can solve a linear inequality. Make sense?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So this is the first step how we can solve linear inequality. So the solution, if I want to like write it as interval, so the solution set, it will be look like from any number, here, look, any number greater than -2/3. So this is mean from -2/3 to infinity. And because we don't have here equal, this is mean open. Okay? Because there is no equal, this will be like open interval to infinity. If I want to like graph the solution, so graphing this solution will be look like this. I draw a line, like I learned from first section of this book. Here, -2/3, it's open, so open circle. Let me choose another color. I use the blue color. So -2/3, open circle, because it's not inside the interval, goes to infinity, a row to infinity. Make sense? So this is the solution set, and here how is that we can graph the answer solution. Another example. Example number 2. Solve the inequality like 7x less than 7x plus 20 less than 5x plus 1. Same idea. What we have to do? Like I said before, let all the variables in one side, all the numbers in one side. So what are we doing here? First, I want to move all the variable in one side. What I have to do here?
You can
Which one?
subtract 5x on both sides.
Yes, subtract 5x from both sides. So I get 7x minus 5x plus 20 less than this. 5x minus 5x is cancelled. This is cancelled here. Less than what? 1. Again, now I have to move the number in the other side. What I do? Subtract by, same idea, by 20. 7x minus 5x is 2x. Exactly. Less than
minus 19.
minus
Negative 19.
negative 19. Let me make it good things. Hold on. Okay, uh, here plus 2. I'll make it here plus 2. Hold on. Here plus 2. Here, but instead of 1 is 2. I change it to 2.
Minus 18.
18. Now what I have to do here? Next step.
Divide by 2.
Divide by 2. What I get?
9. Negative 9.
Negative 9. Yes. So now I divide both sides by 2. By 2. I get x less than negative 9. What is the solution? The set of solution? What is it?
Negative infinite, comma, negative 9.
So
Open
all the
circle.
numbers less than this number. Negative infinite to negative 9, open parentheses. All the numbers less than minus 9. This means minus 10, minus 11, minus 12, minus 13 to minus infinity. So from minus infinity to minus 9. How we can graph these things? We draw a line. At negative 9 is open circle. So here, open circle at negative 9. And all the numbers less than this number to infinity, to minus infinity, to negative infinity. Any question? So here we learn how to solve linear inequality.
I do have one question.
What's your question?
So in the first example, you flipped the sign. Why?
Because we divided by negative numbers.
Oh, okay. So whenever you
Okay.
divide by a negative number, you
You flip the sign. If you divide it by a negative number, you flip this sign. Here we did not divide it by negative. We divided by a positive number. So we keep it the same sign. Okay.
Okay.
Perfect. Any question? Okay. Another example. But this time the example is calling simultaneous inequality. Simultaneous inequality. This means we need to solve something like that. 4 less than or equal 3x minus 2 less than 13. So to solve something like that, we're trying to, like the same idea like before, subtract, multiply until we get something like that. X between number greater than number. So how we can solve these things?
We break it in both into sections. Will be 4 less than or equal to 3s minus 2.
Again, hold on. Let me do with what you said. Hold on 1 second. So 4 less than or equal 3x minus 2 less than 13. So what you said?
No, only says 4 less than equals 3s minus 2. We solve for x. That will be our first value.
So what you did the first things, you add what? Like how you think about this? Like what you do? How you start like thinking for something like that?
We
You
break
add,
into part to
okay,
inequality.
I get you. So for something like that, we don't have to break it into parts. We don't have to break it into parts. So I give you the idea. So here we solve the inequality by adding 2 for all sides. Exactly like this example, instead of adding in one side, we add the number for all sides from this side and this side. So what we get now, what we have, 4 plus 2 is
8,
6, and here 13 plus
15,
15. Now what we have to do,
divide by 3.
divide by
On
3 for
all sides.
all sides. So what I get, x less than
2,
or yeah, less than without equal 2 2
and 5.
5. So what's the solution set? It's an close interval at 2 and open interval at 5. This is the answer. Okay?
Yes.
Okay. How we can graph something like that? I'll graph it here. Graph. So I'm making a line. So at 2 is a closed interval, so it's closed circle. So here we have so we have a line. At 5, at 2 is closed, and at 5 is what? Open. So I have line at 2 is closed. Here I have 2. Here I have 5 is open. And I draw a line between them. Okay, it makes sense? Okay, now we're going to learn how to solve nonlinear inequality. So linear inequality means the exponent for the variable, it is 1. Now we're going to learn for non-linear inequality. Solving non-linear inequality. Okay. So I give you example, and from the example I will explain the idea. The question is solve x squared minus 5x less than or equal -6. So the steps for solving something like that, first things, I have to move like all terms to one side. So, but like, I mean, moving all the number 6 in this side, or I move this variables to this side. So move all terms yes, terms to make it a polynomial. Yes, exactly. Like Angle, he said by the chat, make it as a polynomial. Yes. So move all terms to one side. This is the first idea. Second things, after I moving everything, I have to factor. And in the same time, and find the zeros. Mean I have to make the polynomial equal 0 to find the zeros. Number 3, find the sign. I'll explain how to find the sign by solving this example. Number 4, solve. This is the steps how we can solve that. So for this one, by applying the first rule, said move all terms to one side. So I'm going to move the number -6 to the side, okay? How can I move it? What I have to do?
Add 6 in both sides.
Add 6 to the both sides. So I'm going to add 6, add 6. When I add 6 to the both side, this cancelled here. It cancelled. They give me 0. Okay. So here, they give me x squared minus 5x plus 6 less than or equal 0. Now, second step said factor and find the zeros.
S -3 times
second?
S -2.
Hold on, let me do it. It's what? What you said? X minus 3
And S -2.
and x minus 2 less than or equal 0. Let me make sure. -3 times -2 is 6. -3 times -2 is -5. Exactly. Now, and find the zeros. What's the 0 for this quadratic equation?
+3 and +2.
The zeros, like before, as we learned from previous section, are x equal 3 or not x equal, is 3 and 4. You go back to the previous section to learn how to solve equation. So you make this one equal 0, then you find the solution. You find the zeros. So x minus 3, the 0 for this one is 3, because when you plug 3 inside this, they give me 0. And the 0 for this one is 2. When you plug 2, they give me 0. So 3 and 2. Now, step number 3, find the sign. For something like that, you have to draw a line. In this line, you put these zeros, number 3 and number 2. So close 2, close 3. Now, step number 3. How to find the sign? So I put here, I write here sign. Sign means positive or negative. Now, pick any number greater than 3. Which number you wanna pick greater than 3? Pick any number.
4.
4. For example, we choose 4. So here is 4. You take this number and you plug it inside here. the quadratic equation. Let's
16
plug.
minus 24.
So
This is
4
2.
square minus 5x minus times 4 plus 6. What is the answer?
2 is not less than 0.
It's
It will be
2
16 minus 20 will be 4
16
plus 6.
minus, okay, what is it?
Yeah, it's right.
16 minus 20
20.
plus 6. So here we have minus 4 plus 2 is 2 positive. So the sign, what is the sign for 2? The 2 is greater than 0. So the sign for 2 is positive. So we put here positive. Make sense? Same idea like here. Choose any number less than 2. Give me any number less than 2.
0.
0. Perfect. So I'm taking here the 0. Plug the 0 inside the quadratic formula here. So 0 square minus 5 times 0 plus 6. What does they give me? 0 minus 0 plus 6. 6. The 6, what's the sign for 6? Positive. Perfect. Now pick any number between 2 and 3. Let's take 2/2. 2.5. 2/2. Plug the 2/2 inside the equation. I'm going to do it here. 2.5 square minus 5 times 2.5 plus 6. And this gave me they give me minus 0.25. What is the sign for this number? It is a negative.
Can you write as a fraction? It's easier to solve.
Yeah, we can do a fraction.
It will be
2.5.
5, 2.
Yeah, 2.5 is 5 over 2. We can do it, and we get 1 over 4 minus negative 1 over 4. Because this is 1 over 4 minus. So the sign here negative. So I get positive until 2. 2, what's the sign for 2? What is the sign for 2? At number 2 exactly, what's the sign here?
Positive.
It's positive. Why is not negative?
Because it's not going to, it's not less than, wait.
Who will give me another answer? Except angle. What is the sign for 2? What is the sign? Give me anything. Like Aryan, what's the sign?
Wait, at 2, it's just 0 though, yeah?
Exactly. Nice. Here, it's 0. This is mean no sign. What's the sign for 0? Nothing. It's not positive, it's not negative. So it's 0. So now the question asked, let's go back now to the question. At 4, solve. The mean of solve, we go back to the number 2. We're looking, what's the question ask me? Ask me when this quadratic equation be negative, less than 0 or equal, negative or 0. So I go back to number 3. I'm looking for when the equation will be 0 or negative. The equation will be negative or 0 from 2, and the 2 is including because it's 0, to the number 3. Look, negative, negative, negative. Any number here, we plug it inside this quadratic equation, they give me negative. And also when we plug the 2, they give me 0. When I plug the 3, they give me 0. So the answer, the solution set, is from 2 to 3 and the closed interval. So for the solution, set by using number 3 is the closed interval from 2 to 3. Make sense? Kelly, do you have any question?
What was that? What was that thing called that you were checking to make sure was positive or negative?
So to make sure it's negative or positive, you pick any number. For example, again, we have a line. From number 2, we find the zeros at 2 and 3. You put them in the line. Now you pick any number greater than 3. We choose 4. Any number. When I choose the 4, they give me answer 2. The 2 is positive number. So this is mean anything greater than 3 will be positive. Positive, 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 positive to
Oh,
infinity.
because you're checking if it's greater than or less than 0. So positive or
Exactly.
negative. Okay, that makes
Yes.
sense. Thank you.
Yeah. Same things here for less than 2. We pick any number less than 2. Same things here between 2 and 3. We pick any number between 2 and 3. We plug it inside the equation, the quadratic equation. The answer, you can determine it's positive number or negative number. Now the solution is when that, here looking at the number 1, when this quadratic equation will be less than or equal to 0, when will be 0 or negative, will be negative between 2 and 3, and will be 0 at 2 and 3. So the closed interval from 2 to 3. Okay, let me give you another question. The example is solve x times 2x plus 5 is greater than or equal 0. Same idea, like before, by using the steps. Go back to the step. First things, move all terms to one side, factor and find the 0, find the sign, solve. Here, in this one, is moved already. So the first step is done. We move all things to one side and we get 0. Second step is said factor. What is the factor for this one? What is the factor for this one?
It's already factor. We cannot factor there.
Yes, it's already factor. We cannot factor it more.
You only need to set the variables set equal to 0.
Yeah. Now we can. Now we're looking for the zeros. What's the 0 for this one?
0 is one of them, and 5 over
What is
over
it?
2. 0 and 5 over 2.
0 and 5 over 2. To find these things, make this equal 0. Look, x times 2x plus 5 equals 0. To find the 0. So like before, x equals 0 or 2x plus 5 equals 0. Now we subtract 5 from both sides. We get 2x equal minus 5. Now dividing by 2, x equal minus 5 over 2. So here, minus. Don't forget the minus. Now, third step. What is the third step said? We have to find the sign. How to find the sign? We draw a line. In this line, we put these two numbers, 0 and minus 5 over 2. Now we pick any number greater than 0, we check the sign.
1.
You pick 1, right? Okay.
1.
So here 1. 1 times 2 times 1 plus 5. So they
7.
give me 7. So this is mean positive. So 1 times 2 times 1 plus 5. They give me 7. It is positive, greater than 0. So this is positive here.
Negative 3 on the other side.
Here, negative 3. Okay, let me
Negative
take
3, maybe negative 6 plus 5, negative 1 times negative 3 will be positive 3.
Yeah, so negative 3, like he said, 2 times negative 3 plus 5 give me negative 3 times 2 times 3 minus negative 6 plus 5. And they give me negative 3 times negative 1, they give me 3, positive. So again, positive here. Pick any number here between minus 5 over 2 and 0.
Negative 2.
Negative 2 or negative 1 is easier, right? You want to take negative 1?
Yes.
Yeah, let me make negative 1. So negative 1 times 2 times negative 1 plus 5. What is the answer?
Negative 3.
Negative 1 times 2 times negative 3, with 2, 5, 3. So they give me negative 3. And this number is less than 0. So negative. Now go back to the question. The question asks when this equation will be positive or 0. We go back to the sign. Will be positive or 0 from 0 to infinity and from minus 5 to minus infinity. So the solution is from minus infinity to minus 5 over 2, a closed interval because we have equal. You see the equal? 2 minus 5 over 2 equal, close, union. This is mean and, okay, from 0 because a closed interval to infinity. This is the solution. In this set, we're going to find, if we plug any number from this set, we're going to find a positive number. Here we have union because look, here we have positive and we have here also positive. Here I get a question. Can you explain why this has union but the other does not have? Okay, in this example, look, the question asks when this quadratic equation will be positive or zero. We go into the sign to the line. I see in the line in this side is positive. This side is positive, and also on this side is positive. So this is mean from minus infinity to the minus 5/2 and or union, you use union from 0 to infinity. But if you go back to the previous example, they ask when these things will be negative. So the negative only between minus 2 and 3. Look, only this. So we don't have to use union here. We have only one interval from 2 to the 3 only. This is the negative. But the question, if it's the question is when these things will be greater than or equal 0, we're going to use the union. Why? Because we have here positive and we have another interval positive. Make sense? Okay. Anyone has a question? Now, how we can graph the solution for this one? So the graph for the solution, draw a line. Here at 0 is closed to the infinity. Here is 0. Here we have a closed also at minus 5/2 goes to infinity. This is the solution. This is how we graph the solution. I got another question. So when it's has a greater than, there is always union? No, it's not always union. So when you see, because sometimes when you see greater than, sometimes the positive is inside. I mean, like sometimes if this question, for example, this question, the positive, it's between minus 5 and 0. Here positive, and here is negative, and here is negative. So the question asks when this is positive, and so the answer will be inside this interval. It depends. So it depends how it's look like in the line and the sign. Okay, it depends in the sign. Like you look into this sign, to the line and the sign. It depends. I can't tell you like every greater than this is mean union. No, it depends how is the sign in the line. If it's like you look into the sign, if it's the positive, it's inside here. This is mean the answer here. If it's the positive, it's in this side and this side, you have to put the union, because the answer is that because this interval here is not inside the solution set. So that's why we put the union. Good question. Makes sense? Any questions so far? Okay, now let's go to solving inequality with quotient. So we learn how to solve linear here, linear. We learn how to solve nonlinear. We have like quadratic by using the sign. Now we're going to learn how to solve solving inequality with quotient, with a fraction. Solving inequality. With Okay, I give you example again, and from the example, we're going to learn how to solve something like that. The example is 1 over 1 plus x over 1 minus x greater than or equal 1. How we can solve something like that? Anyone has any idea how to solve something like that? Any idea?
Consider everything to one side.
Yes, the same like before. We're moving the 1 to one side, or we're moving again. I gave you steps. So, step. First step, move all terms to one side. So we the same like before, like quadratic. You move all terms to one side. Second step, find the 0. Third step, find the sign. Fourth one, solve. Okay, let me do the first step. Who will do it? We subtract what? This one or this one? Which one you need to subtract?
One.
Yes, it's easier. So we subtract the one from both sides. It's easier than subtract the fraction. So we get 1 plus x over 1 minus x minus 1 greater than or equal 0. Let we simplify this fraction with a number. What we get, like in previous sections, cross multiply, right? What we get? Who will do it?
So 1 plus x minus 1 minus x over
Minus
1 minus
1.
x.
So minus 1 times 1 minus x. Okay. Over what?
1 minus x.
1 minus x. Okay, great. Greater than or equal 0. So let me simplify these things. So we get what? 1 plus x minus 1 times 1 minus 1 minus 1 times minus x plus x over 1 minus x. Here we have 1 and minus 1
Cancel each other.
canceling each other. So this one cancel this one. X plus x,
2x.
2x. Over 1 minus x greater than or equal 0. Okay. Now, this one here, we need to find the zeros for the numerator and the denominator. So let me go to the next slide, 2x over 1 minus x. Here, 2x over 1 minus x is greater than 0. So the third step said, so let me mark it, one step, first step. Second step, find the 0. Here, find the zeros. Second step. The 0 for what? For the numerator and the denominator. So the zeros for 2x is, what is it? What is the 0 for 2x? Is 0. Why? Because you make,
Zero, yeah.
yes, because to make 2x equal 0. And the zeros for 1 minus x is, what is it?
-1.
1. Why? Because 1 minus x equals 0. And you find the zeros. Let me explain more, because here you make 2x equal 0, then x equal, we divide both sides by 2, by 2, by 2, and you get x equal 0 over 2 is 0. Here, because 1 minus x equals 0, you add x to both sides, so you get 1 equal x plus 0 is x.
1 cannot be a solution because it will be on the far.
Yeah, x equal is a solution, one or cannot be a solution. Yes, this cannot be a solution, but I'm looking for the zeros. This is true. 1 cannot be a solution for this fraction, but I'm looking for the zeros for the denominator. Now, third step, find the 0, find the sign. So we're looking for the sign now. So number 3, find the sign. So we draw a line. In this line, we put the zeros for the numerator and the denominator. So the first 0 is x equals 0. Here, it's a closed circle. At x equal 1 is open circle. Why? Because cannot be a 0, because it's in the denominator. Any 0 for the denominator, we put open circle. Okay? Any zeros in the denominator, we put open circle. Now we're looking for the signs. Now,
-1.
choose any number greater than 1.
2.
2. Let's take 2. Plug the 2 inside this. What I get? 2 times
4.
2
Hold on.
over 1 minus 2. What is the answer? Is
-4.
4 over minus 1 is -4. This is mean anything here is negative. Okay? Now, choose any number less than 0.
-1.
-1. Let me take -1. I get answer. I get a question, Martin. Why is 1 is open circle? Again, the zeros for the denominator, we put it open circle. Look, 1 minus x, the 0 for 1 minus x, 1 minus x is 1. Because this is in the denominator, we put it open circle. Again, the zeros for the denominator, we put it open circle. Now let me take a -1. Plug it. 2 times -1. Who will do it?
-2.
I get -2. Why? Because
-2 plus 2.
-2 over -2, they give me what? Positive.
+2. +2.
Positive
Negative,
1.
negative equal +2.
So
It will be -1, the answer.
Oh, okay, -2, 1 minus -2 is +2. Oh, sorry, so -2. So the answer here is negative.
Oh,
-1,
-1, my bad.
-1. Now, choose any number between 0 and 1.
1/2.
1/2. Let me take 1/2. Okay, 1/2 here. 1/2. I plug the 1/2 inside the formula. So I get 2 times 1/2 over 1 minus 1/2. 2 times 1/2 is 1
1.
over 1 minus 1/2 is 1/2. So 1 divided by 1/2 is
2.
2. Let me show why. Because 1 times the flip of the second in the denominator. 1 times 2 from previous sections. And they give me 2. The 2 is positive. So here is positive. Now go back to the question. The question asks me when these things will be positive or 0. What is the answer? The solution set. What is the solution set? When these things will be positive or 0. Okay. Who will give
0
me
brackets, comma 1.
0, 1. At 0 is close, right?
Close bracket and open
At
parenthesis.
1 is open. Yes, this is the answer. Okay. So the solution set is the closed interval from 0 to the 1. Makes sense? So now we learn how to do for fraction, how to find the inequality for any fraction. By the steps, you will find the inequality for a fraction. So the easiest one is the linear one. A little bit harder is the quadratic one. More and harder is this one, the quotient. But the steps are close to each other, the same steps. Just follow the steps and you will be fine. Now the last two things here is the absolute value inequality. Any question before we go to the absolute value inequality? Okay, I hope it makes sense for all of you. Are you going graph? Oh yeah, okay, yep. I had to graph the answer. So how would the graph? It's look like this. Graph at 2, at 0, I mean, is closed circle. Here is 0. At 1 is open circle. This is 1. And here, this is the solution, the set of solution. Here at 1, here is 0. At 1 is open circle. Okay. Now the absolute value. Last things in this section. Properties. We have some properties for the absolute value. First things, I have to know the absolute value for x less than c. This is mean x less than minus c or greater than c. The graph for these things at minus c is open circle. Here we have 0. Here we have open circle at c. So open circle, line, open circle. Now, second one. If the absolute value for x is less than or equal c, so the solution is x less than or equal minus c, c. Again, the line, it's a line similar to the first one, but at minus c and c are a closed circle. So closed, minus c, closed, c. And here we have 0. Number 3. Rule number 3 said if the absolute value for x is greater than c, so the answer is x greater than c or x less than minus c. So I draw a line. At c is closed, is open, sorry. It's open circle greater than, here c. Here's minus c. Last one. The absolute value for x is greater than or equal c. So x is less than or equal, the same like before, but with equal. So x greater than or equal c or x less than or equal minus c. Same things, draw a line. At c is closed. Minus c is close to. Here we have 0. C minus c. Okay, this is the properties for inequality. Let me give an example to show how we can use this property. So the example is solve, here solve the absolute value for x minus 5 less than 2. Which property we have to use for this one? Which property? It's similar to this one. Which one? Look to the number 1. It's similar to this one. So the solution is x between minus c and c. So my c here is 2. This is my c. in the equation. So to solve these things, we put x minus 5 between minus c minus 2 and between 2. And we solve these things exactly like this example. Here, simultaneous inequality. See the simultaneous inequality? We use it for here. Minus 2 less than or equal, without equal, less than 5 minus 5 less than 2. What we had to do? How we solve it?
Add 5 to both sides.
Add 5 for both sides, for all sides. What I get?
Yeah, 3 is
Yes.
less than x,
Less than what?
less than 7.
7. How we can graph the solution? Similar to the first one. It's a line. At 3 is open. At 7 is open. And we draw a line between 3 and 5. Any questions so far for this example?
Can you repeat it again for the beginning?
Okay. Again, solve something like that. This is here. We're looking back to the properties. So look like the first property, the absolute value for x less than c. This is my c. Here's
Right.
some. Yeah, hold on. Hold on.
That should be 7 though, right? Yeah,
7.
yeah, yeah.
Yes, yes, yes. So thank you. So there's 7 here. Again, so the first one here, the absolute value for x minus 5 less than c. So this is exactly similar to the c. It's like, it's not my c, but similar to the first one. Because the first one said the absolute value for x less than c. So we're applying the same properties. X less than minus c less than greater than minus c and less than c. So we make it minus 2, this things x minus 5 is greater than minus 2 and less than 2, the positive of 2. Now we're solving this like a previous example, simultaneous inequality. We add 5 for all sides. I get x between 3 and 7. The line graph for this line exactly like this one. My c, first c is 7 and my second here is 3. So it will be between 3 and 7. Any questions so far?
Okay.
Okay, let me give you another example.
Can you do an example with a rule 3 or 4?
Which one? Here?
Do an example with the rules 3 or 4.
Oh yeah, I'm going to give you from there. So I'll give you an example here. Solve the absolute value for 3x plus 2 greater than or equal 4. Which rule is similar to this one? Look to number 4. It's similar to this one, right? So how we can solve these things? It said number 4, the inside is greater than outside, or the inside less than or equal the minus outside. So here, the inside 3x plus 2 is greater than or equal 4, or the inside 3x plus 2 less than or equal the negative outside. Okay? Now we're solving the inequality. This is linear inequality. So how can we solve this inequality? This is a linear inequality. How we can solve it?
Subtract minus 2 on both sides.
Subtract 2 from both sides. We get 3x less than greater than 4.
Then divide by 3.
Divide by 3.
It will be 2, not 4.
Yeah, 4 minus 2 is 2 here. Hold on. So here, 4 minus 2 is 2. We divide by 3, we get 2 over 3. So x greater than or equal 2 over 3. Second one.
We subtract 2 on both sides will be negative 6. Divided by 3 will be negative 2.
So negative 2 or negative 2, get 3x less than or equal negative 6. We divide by 3 because we're dividing by positive number. We don't flip, we don't change the inequality. So x less than or equal minus 2. Now, how we gonna graph something like that? We draw the line. We put the first one, first point is 2 over 3, closed, because we have equal. And the second one is minus 2, open, close, I mean, negative 2. Now, go back again. They said any number here, any numbers is greater than 2 over 3. So all the numbers are greater than this number. For the second one, any numbers is less than minus 2 or equal minus 2. So all the number less than minus 2 here. And this is my answer, the graph. Okay? So graph. Any question? Okay. Another question. So the solution set here, if I want to make it, like all the numbers comes to the 2 from minus infinity to minus 2 at 2 is closed interval, union from 2 over 3 closed interval to infinity. The black array minus infinity to 2 minus 2 union 2 over 3 to infinity. Last things I want to tell you how to solve from previous class, how to solve something like that. The question is, example. What is the solution for solve absolute value for 3x plus 2 equal -5? What is the solution?
No, just subtract 2 on both sides.
Hold on. Okay, subtract 2 from both sides. Okay, I tell you something. When you see the always the absolute value always equal positive number. Here we have equal, always equal positive number. When you see absolute value equal negative number, this is mean. What does that mean? No solution. Always. So the answer, no real solution. No real solutions. This is our sign question. When you see something like that, the answer is no real solution. Why? Because the absolute value for any number is greater than or equal 0, always. The answer is always, if I see absolute value equal C, C must be positive or 0, cannot be negative. If you need more explain for that, let me explain it more. If you need more explain, I said the absolute value for x equals C, C must be greater than or equal 0. The definition of the absolute value is x or minus x when x is positive number, when x is negative number. So this is mean if x is negative, the answer is positive. We multiply by negative. If x here is positive, we keep it the same things. What does that mean? The absolute value for the absolute value for 5 is 5. Why? By using this rule. The absolute value for positive number is the same inside. If the number is negative, we multiply by negative. Another example, the absolute value for -9, by using this property, because the number is negative inside, we multiply by negative. Negative, -9. And the answer is positive 9. So this is mean the absolute value for any number is always the answer is positive. Here we go back to the question here. The absolute value for this things equal -5. When I see -5, this is mean no real solution. Make sense? If it's 0, we make it equal 0. If this here is 0, we remove the absolute value symbols and we solve it as linear equation. Okay? Any questions so far? So now let's go to the next section. I'll give you a brief for next section, and next time we going to go over this section 1.9, the coordinate plane. First things I'm going to explain what is the meaning of coordinate plane. So look like this. This is the coordinate plane. Since I have two perpendicular real line, both of these two lines, look, we have perpendicular two lines. Both of these two lines are crossed in one point, intersect at this point. This point is 0, 0, 0. This line is called the x-axis. This line is called the y-axis. All these two axes, they make for four quadrant. This is the first quadrant. This is the second one. This is the third one. This is the fourth one. So here I can set this is my x-axis. Here is my y-axis. This point is called the origin. This is 0, 0. This is my first quadrant. This is my second quadrant. Here is my third one. And this is my fourth quadrant. And the point inside this quadrant plane, it's look like a point. For example, here I have point B, I call it B. It's it's x1, point from x-axis, and y1, and point from the y-axis. This is what you have to know about the quadrant coordinate plane. No, it's not two commas. It's this is my point here. Let me write it again. Here I have point. This point has x, point from the x-axis, and point from the y-axis. Okay. So point from the x-axis goes down to the x-axis, and one point from the y-axis. So such that, look, the x here, it's a point here. The y here is a point from the y. Okay. Now, second things we have to know how to find the distance between any 2 points in the coordinate plane, and how to find the midpoint between any two points in the coordinate plane. So here I give you the formula. The distance and midpoint formula. So if I have, for example, in the here, if I want to draw another coordinate plane,
Do you want a distance formula?
Hmm?
Do you want a distance formula?
Yeah, I will give you the formula. Do you have it? Do you know what's the formula?
I know it is the square root
Square.
s
Okay.
minus s2 minus s1. Wait, isn't wait. I think it's adding.
Okay, let me make the point is B1. This is my first point, and give me the formula for these things. 1 second, I give you the point. So this is the first point is x1, comma, y1. And I have here another point, it's called q. It's x2, comma, y2. Give me the formula for these things.
The distance formula is s2 minus s1 square.
x1, okay.
We had the square root of s2 minus s1 square plus
Okay.
y2 minus y1 square.
Okay. So let me repeat what he said. So if I have something like that, this is the distance here. Distance. The distance formula said d between this point, 2 point B, comma Q is equal the square root of x2 minus x1, x2, this point, minus x1 square plus y2 minus y1 square. This is the formula for the distance between any point. Now the formula for the midpoint m between P and Q is equal.
The midpoint would be
What is
s2
it?
minus s1 all over 2.
Okay, perfect.
And it's the same.
1 plus y2 over 2. So my midpoint will be here. This is my m. A point between B and Q. Make sense? So this is my midpoint. Okay. So it's x1 plus x2 over 2, comma, y1 plus y2 over 2. Yeah, we can put capital D or we can put small d, whatever. Doesn't matter. This is mean the distance between B and Q, between this point and this point. And M here, the midpoint between the both of the points. And the formula for M for B and Q, it's here. x1 plus x2 over 2, comma y1 plus y2 over 2. Makes sense? Again, this is my x-axis. And this is my y-axis. Okay? Any questions so far? Okay. So I'm going to stop until here today. And next time I'm going to give you more example for this. Yeah, my x-axis. Any questions so far? Okay. Yes, I'm going to post the homework for this one. Okay, let me stop the recording.
Professor,
Yes.
I don't know if I remember correctly, but you said our first exam would be in the first week of March.
First exam until we finish this chapter. So like maybe it will be like the second week of the March.
All right.
We will see.
All right. Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, I'll stop recording.